I built a custom keyboard that looks and feels like it should be a $500 plus keyboard for just under $130 using this MarvoDIY Redefined 68 keyboard kit.
But Justin, $130 isn't even budget.
Well, when you consider the cost of a normal custom keyboard, which is usually over $200, this build at $130 starts to look pretty good. Also, if you want to change some things like the switches and keycaps, you can actually make this keyboard less money and more personal to you. The kit itself comes in usually at $80 US, but it is on sale right now for $67, and if you use this code from my link in the description, you can get the kit for only $60, which is a steal as you literally get it for 30% off.
Wow.
Out of the box, the kit comes with a manual, a USB-C cable, a metal plate for the back of the keyboard case, a USB dongle for 2.4 GHz wireless, as this keyboard is wireless with 2.4 GHz, and Bluetooth as well. Both work really good with fairly low input lag, although for keyboards I recommend wired as you will always get less input lag, and the cables just add to the aesthetic of the keyboard if you also get some custom cables. Plus it comes with an all-in-one switch and keycap puller. Then the keyboard kit itself, which comes with no switches or keycaps, so you will have to pick them up separately, which allows for you to choose the look and feel you want for this keyboard. The Redefined 68, as you can tell by the name, is a 65% keyboard kit, which means it is compact like a 60% keyboard, but has one extra row horizontally that allows for dedicated arrow keys. This is the preferred layout for most people, including myself. The best part about this kit is that it is hot swappable, so you don't have to solder anything, and it allows for 3-pin or 5-pin switches, so you don't have to clip any pins off your switches. It has a plastic case and an aluminum frame, which makes it pretty sturdy, so unless you're like Eddie Hall or something, it would be pretty hard to bend this keyboard at all. The keyboard also comes in a black version, which is out of stock, and I can't find any images of this anywhere, but it also comes with this white version that I got, which is more of just an aluminum color, as the only part you can see is the frame. Although it's not actually white, I enjoy the color and the finish on the aluminum better anyways. On the bottom of the keyboard, there are some height adjustable feet to change the angle of the keyboard, as without them, the keyboard lays almost flat. Under one of the feet is a dip switch, which has many different uses, including making the keyboard usable for macOS. Even though it does have an aluminum frame, the plastic case makes this keyboard lightweight, which I'm not too big of a fan of as I like heavy keyboards, but if you take your keyboard on the go a lot, it could be very useful. Where things start to get good is when you go inside the case, as it comes with foam in between the case and the PCB, and a silicone sound dampener between the plate and the PCB to take away from the pinging sounds of the case. The Ducky 1.3 Mini I just reviewed also had this, except it was a pre-built keyboard with not very good switches, and it cost almost the exact same as this build at $120 US. The board also comes with a steel plate, which is supposed to be better for linear switches, although I use tactile switches and it still feels great. The only fault I could find is the stabilizers out of the box are kinda rattly, which I fixed before even completing the build, as I lubed them with some dielectric grease, which is really cheap and I already had some laying around, and it fixed the stabilizers instantly. Also, they are clip-in stabilizers, and if you want to replace them with better ones, you could do so pretty easily, though I did not. The PCB does have RGB, but it is fairly dim, and the keycaps I used aren't backlit, so I just keep them off anyways. But it does have a software you can control the RGBs with and set macros easily. It looks pretty similar to the AmPro 2 software, which is nice and really easy to use. Now for the actual build, I decided on putting the Rock T1 switches in this keyboard.
Shut up, bitch!
As they are regarded as one of the top tactile switches, as they feel as good as a lot more expensive switches I have tried, like the Holy Pandas and the Zelios V2. These switches are about $5.60 per 10 switches from hippokeys.com, and you only need 7 packs of 10 as this keyboard only has 68 keys, so it comes in at around $40 in all for the switches. The switches are all up to personal preference though, so you might not like these switches as you might enjoy linear switches a little bit more, but if you do enjoy tactile switches, I highly recommend the Durock T1s. Here is a super quick sound test of the Durock T1s in this keyboard kit. As you can tell, this keyboard sounds super nice, and the sound dampening foam does a great job of taking away of some of the case pinging. Again, the only issue is the stabilizers that could be easily fixed for a few dollars by getting some better replacement stabilizers or spending a bit more time modding these ones. For the keycaps, I juggled between a couple sets. I started with the Sushi PPT keycaps, but these are a little more expensive and I just didn't like the look as much as the Matcha keycaps, which are these nice green keycaps with some cool brownish novelty keys. The keycaps really change the look of your keyboard build, and what you end up choosing really depends on the theme of your setup and what you enjoy. You can check out my videos on some of the best keycaps here, and if you enjoyed this video, all I ask is that you subscribe.